Good morning, everybody. Well, I finally back on the trail. Been hiking since about 6:45 this morning. It's about 10 after now, and I started section 3 this morning of the Mountain to Sea Trail. I parked at the Pisgah Inn, well, the Overlook across from it, and then after a short little climb to start with, the trail's been relatively level and great. I was hoping to see the sunrise this morning, and I thought this would be a good place to watch it. Yeah, it wasn't real showy, but it was a sunrise. But my plan today and tomorrow, we'll do 2 days this time, is to get to Interstate 26, which is about 27 miles. So, looking forward to it. I'm sure that there'll be some views. So, when I get to some, I'll show you. So, until then, I'm out and enjoying the trail. All right. I had no sooner ended my last clip, and then I walked up on the site of the Buck Spring Lodge. Of course, there's nothing here now, but this is the site of where George Vanderbilt had built a lodge up here, and they'd spend time in this area. Okay, the sign tells a little bit about it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it was up here for like 60 years, but it was built in 1896. But this is where it was. This is where I just came from. This trail here. And then this is the view from here. And boy, is it beautiful. Beautiful view out here. Of course, you get over here, there's trees in the way, but man, I could just sit here and look out at these mountains all day long. Looks like they're in just an ocean out there. But yeah, I was about to fall off the rock. But yeah, this is a beautiful sight, and today is starting out really good, and so I hope it continues. I've got my new backpack on. It's the first time it's actually been on a hike, so it's really comfortable. So yeah, a good day. So I'm going to continue on. This is the trail that I'll be heading up back into the woods, and if I come across another view, I'll give you a look. All right, I'm out. All right, that was a pretty little section of trail. I've been basically walking in the woods, no real views. But I've said it before that the trail itself gives you all the beauty you need. The big long vistas we see are just icing on the cake. But went up a pretty hefty climb, and now I'm going back down. And you know, this trail goes from the Pisgah Inn all the way down to the Arboretum, and then across the French Broad and the interstate. So overall, we're going to be losing quite a bit of elevation today. But makes you wonder why you're going up and down. But as I drove in this morning, I had a thought, because I knew it was a little up and down just from looking at the maps beforehand. But there's a lot of tunnels on this section of the parkway from Asheville up to the Pisgah Inn, and you're not allowed to walk through tunnels. And so I would say all these ups and downs are necessary to get you up and over or up and around those tunnels. So I think when I see tunnels now, I'm not as excited on the road anyway, because I know what the trail's going to do. But yeah, everything's still feeling good. You know, last night I was hoping maybe to hit the trail last night, but it was supposed to rain all day here, and there was no need to start out at midday and get wet and have to walk wet all day today. So I decided to stay with my friend Pat and his wife Sina. And the last few times I've come up, they've hosted me at their house either before or after the hike, and it shuttled me back and forth. So big shout out to them. I really appreciate it. But last night for dinner, Sina had cooked some chicken parmesan, and you know, I've not been eating noodles because I'm trying to diet a little bit, but I knew that I would be walking today, and I needed to load a little carbs so I'd have enough energy. And boy, I do. I mean, I can feel the energy from those carbs that I ate last night. But funny thing is, I got a nice big helping, and I ate it, and I was sitting there, and I said, "You mind if I have another helping?" And she was sure. So I had 2 big helpings, and so I'm hoping that's going to stick with me most of the day. I've got food and snacks, but I haven't even had to reach for anything, not even breakfast this morning. So anyway, the trail is continuing down, down, down. So of course, I know in a little while we're going to be back up over another tunnel. So if we come to any vistas that I can show you, I will. If not, I'll get back on here and show you a little bit more of the trail. But I really need to be using the trekking poles right now instead of filming, so I'm gonna stop here and put the camera up and get back to hiking. All right, I am out. Just another pretty section of trail here. I guess I'm probably 3 miles in now. There's been some ups and downs, but there has been a good little bit of this just almost flat level walking, so it's pretty nice. And then you get these rock formations, and look, we got There's a mountain laurel growing right out of the side of it. All right. Still no long vistas to look at. I've crossed, I just crossed the parkway where Pisgah Highway comes into it. So I feel like I'm making decent time. My knees don't hurt me when I'm walking this level. They don't hurt going up, but it's just on the downhill. So I hope we continue to be pretty pain-free today. But I'm expecting to come across a thru hiker today. And for the life of me, I can't remember his name right now, but I'll recognize him. And of course, it may be tomorrow, but he left from Asheville this morning, and I left from the Pisgah Inn. So really just depends on how far I go. I'm sure with his thru hiker legs, he's making pretty good time, even though it is uphill. So anyway, hope to see him today or tomorrow. That'll be it for now. I'm out. All right, that's where I came from. And this is where I'm headed. What an awesome view. Coming back out on the parkway. Look at that. That's looking back into Buncombe County. The Inca Candler area. Traffic's starting to pick up on the parkway. But this is the Mills River Valley Overlook. And you can see mountains all the way up behind that row of clouds. But anyway, I'm coming across this this overlook, and you can see up here ahead of me it enters back into the woods, back into the trail. So I think there's a viewpoint in here. At least it indicates there is on the map. So I've been walking about 2.5 hours. So I'm going to probably get to that point and sit down and take a little break. Not sure what the trail's going to be like going through here, but I hope it continues to be pretty gentle as it used to be. Or not used to be, as it has been. So, yeah. That's where we are. It is uphill here, so as I always say, you gotta take these hills are the work, and then you get your payday at the top. I will be glad to get back away from the parkway so I don't have to hear these cars again. But that won't be too long from now. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here, find this spot for a nice little first break of the morning, and yeah, I don't know, something of a little interest up here. Let's go see what this is. A little side trail okay. Just a little grouping of rocks. This may be the site that I was talking about, called the cross tree. I'm gonna have to pull out my map and see if this is actually it, because it was really close to the parking area, it said, but just not exactly sure how close. So let's get this up and take a look at it. I don't know why this app shuts down every time. It says Mills River Overlook, parking. No, the cross tree is on up. So it's at mile marker 4.7. We're currently at 4.35. It's actually 4.47. So it's just a little bit further up the trail. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut this off and get to the cross tree. And we may have a little break and get some water and a few snacks at the foot of the cross. So anyway, for now I'm out. Alright guys, we're here. This is what they refer to as the cross tree. And for obvious reasons, kind of puts you in memory of a cross. And of course, when I see that cross, what goes through my mind, of course you can't see it as well from this side, but anyway, what goes through my mind is what Jesus did on the cross for us. And it's not the tree that humbles me. It's actually thinking about what God did for us when he allowed his son to die on the cross. So, but this tree can stand witness to that. So I walked just a little bit past it. There's a place to sit down here, but hope you enjoyed that. I'm gonna take my first break of the day and then get back on the trail. All right, I'm out. All right, I've stopped here at the base of the Farron Knob fire tower. It's about a 560-foot climb in just over half to 3/4 mile. But stopped here just to get rehydrated, drink some water, and I've eaten some snacks to give me a little bit of more energy, because when you start up these hills, it will zap you in a hurry. But yeah, ate some M&Ms and granola snack. So getting ready to hoist the pack back up and head on. It's the fire tower marks the 8-mile mark, and it's just a little afternoon, so I'm not making great time, but you know, I'm hiking like I like to hike. I see something I want to take a picture of, I'll take a picture. If I decide I want to sit down and enjoy a a cool breeze like there is right now, that I can sit down and enjoy the cool breeze. I don't have to worry about catching up with anybody or having somebody wait on me. It's been a good day. And when I get to the top, I'm going to stop and actually have lunch. I've had snacks a couple of times today, but I will stop up there and have me some lunch, and hopefully there's a view. You would think at a fire tower there would be a view, but you never know. The trees may be grown up by now. But and then just past that, another, I don't know, mile, maybe a mile and a half, is the first reliable water source that's on the map. So I'm down to probably about a liter of water. I carried more than I usually do because I didn't want to run out, didn't want to get dehydrated, so I've been trying to drink. Anyway, we're getting ready to head to the top, and then I think after that it is mainly downhill all the way to where I'm planning to end my hike tomorrow. So, all right, I'll get you some shots from the top. Until then, I am out. All right, guys, this is kind of what I was afraid of. Made it to the top of Farron Knob, side of the fire tower. All that's here is a concrete basis. And as I said, I was worried that, you know, it'd be grown up. And it sure enough is. No views, no views. So anyway, well, at least we did get to the top of it. And it was a good climb there. I'm still out of breath. But, so we'll walk on past this before we stop for lunch. As soon as I find a good shady spot where I can throw the stuff down and spread out, I'm gonna crack into it, get me some lunch. Of course, it is relatively cool up here in the shade. So anyway, let me get off here and find a lunch spot, then I'll check back in. Okay, so I'm sitting here, just finished up my lunch break. It's actually about 2 o'clock. And the funny thing is, I didn't eat anything. Well, yeah, didn't eat any lunch. So I did filter some water. I'll have to show you the water source before I leave. All right, this is the water source I used. And you can see, you can see it moving just a little bit, but I had to use my trowel, put it in and let the water run off the end. I would have shown you a video of that, but I left my trowel up on the bank here and went down with it a little bit, not much, but a little bit better flow, and got my water there. So it took me about 5 minutes to get a liter of water. I drank it down and then got another one to put in my smart water bottle. So I'm back up to about 2 liters of water. But I just talked to a gentleman that came down the trail, and he said that there's more water sources this way. So anyway, till next time, I'm out. All right, guys, I thought I'd give you an update since I stopped for lunch. I actually stopped for lunch and ended up not eating anything. There was a very low flow water source, and I did drink a liter of water and filtered a little water to carry with me. So from what I understand, there should be more water sources where we're going, the direction we're going. But I just wasn't hungry. I'd eat that snack before I climbed the hill. I've got some peanut butter and jelly tortillas to roll up. I've got some pickled sausage. I got all kind of stuff I could eat, but just not hungry at the moment. So while I was there, I pulled out the Mountain Sea Trail map, looking for camping spots, and actually from mile 8.4, I think, maybe 8.7, anyway, on this section, to mile marker 42.8 on this section, there's no camping. It's prohibited. You got the Parkway property, you got private property, and then you got the Bent Creek Experimental Forest. Therefore, camping is prohibited. So anyway, I called Pat, and I've got him on standby. I'm not sure where I'll get to tonight, but if I keep making time like I am now, I should be able to get to Bent Creek, which will be just over 16 miles for today. And that put me in great shape for tomorrow. I just hate to put Pat out and have him come get me tonight and turn around and bring me back in the morning, but he said he would, and that's what good friends do for each other. But I'm going to show you the trail where we're at now. It's just the green tunnel, which I'm rather enjoying it on this day. It's actually, the forecast was for 90 degrees in Asheville today, and it was 71 when I checked earlier. And then a gentleman came up to me where I was breaking for that lunch break, and he's a local, been walking. He's trying to get ready to go out to Yosemite, so I wish him luck. Just had hip replacement 4 months ago, and he's out here walking. That's awesome. But anyway, he said when he got out of his truck, it was 82 degrees, and his truck was a mile down the trail, so it's probably around 80. I know I'm sweating pretty hot, but great trail. Love walking in the shade. I'm hoping to come across a better water source. If I do, I'm going to drop my pack and camel up, drink a couple of liters of water if I can, and then fill up a couple of bottles to get me to wherever I'm going to either stay or get picked up. I hate to stay anywhere because it says it's prohibited, but there's always a possibility of stealth camping, but I like to follow the rules if I can. But I think that somebody needs to get together with the powers that be on these Mountain Sea Trail and the experimental station or forest parkway, and at least come up with some designated areas for people that are hiking through. I understand not just letting anybody come up here and camp and build big fires and party, but if they had a couple of 2 or 3 spots between those mile markers where people that were hiking through the area could stop. I don't know, just me ranting. But anyway, I also know that there's a through hiker, westbound, started at Jockey's Ridge, I don't know, some 100 or so days ago. And I know he was leaving Asheville this morning. And I'm expecting to run across him just about any time, but haven't seen him yet. Kind of looking forward to meeting him, but it just depends on the situation. I took a little wrong turn back there, or actually went straight when I should have turned, and ended up walking about 50 yards, stopping, referring to my maps, and coming back. And you know, a through hiker in that amount of time could have come up that trail, turned, went the right way, and would have never seen each other. So I don't know, hope don't miss him, but I'll keep looking. If I see anything else interesting, I'll show it to you. Okay, I'm out. Okay, I'm back. Seems like this happens to me all the time. I'll talk about something, and no sooner do I get my camera put back up and start walking good, that it happens. Happened again. As soon as I got off that last little clip, it wasn't 5 minutes, ran to the corner, saw this fella sitting there trying to filter some water at a very poor source, and it was a through hiker that I was talking about earlier. Got his name. He's real name the Champ. He carries a belt with him, and I took a picture. I'll throw it in here so you can see it. But yeah, he started at Jockey's Ridge. He's nearing the final days here, getting closer and closer to Clingman's Dome. So I don't know, we talked for 10-15 minutes. Pretty cool guy. He's from Wilmington, another North Carolina boy. Me from Western North Carolina, him from the coast, and we're walking, both of us, back away from home. So anyway, it was cool to run into him. So he's trying to make it to the Pisgah Inn tonight. He should be able to do that. But I've got to get on it to try to get myself down here to the Arboretum. Try to get a pickup and not have to stealth camp illegally. So, all right, that's my update for now. I'm out. All right, so I finally got hungry, and I decided to go ahead and have me a little meal here. So I sat down and fixed me a couple of peanut butter and jelly tortillas on carb balanced tortillas. So they're really good. But trying to contemplate this camping situation, and it's just not looking good. So I made a call, and Pat's going to pick me up at the Sleepy Hollow one. I can't remember. Overlook. It's about 1.5 miles, maybe a mile and a half, maybe a little less. But from here, he's having some issues at work, so he can't get out here right away anyway. So I'm just taking my time. But I've been drinking some water. I was thinking about getting some water out of this water source, but another one of those that barely running. I'll show you here. starts up there and kind of comes down, but you can hear the trickle. So I could use my trowel again and set up and get some more water, but I've got almost 1.5 liters left. So, 1.5 miles, and then I'm going to be heading back over to Pat's, spend the night. Kind of disappointed. I really wanted to camp out, but just not worth taking the risk and getting caught, and following the rules and doing the right things, the best course of action anyway. So just really glad I got Pat here to support me. He'll pick me up, and I'm sure Cena will want to feed me again, but I'm not eating. I've already had my supper. So anyway, so that's the situation we got right now. Let me see, it's probably about almost 5:30. Hopefully Pat can be here to pick me up by 7. It won't take me till 7 to get there, but that's just kind of what I'm estimating his finishing up with work and travel time to get here. So definitely don't want to make him wait. So I'm going to go ahead and load my stuff back up, get ready, and hopefully I'll be there waiting for him when he gets there. But he is going to bring me back, drop me back off in the same place tomorrow. That'll give me over 13 miles today and leave about a little over 12 tomorrow. A little bit over 12, and maybe even up to 13 or 14 tomorrow. But tomorrow is really, the trail's getting easier, not a lot more ups and downs. It's really flat once you get to the Arboretum and walk from there over to Interstate 26. So I should make pretty good time tomorrow. Just want to make sure I get out on the trail early enough. So anyway, that's where we're at. So I'll try to give a update for the day when I'm at the parking lot waiting for Pat. All right, I'm out. All right, I guess you can see I'm not in the parking lot at Sleepy Gap. I'm actually sitting in my driveway at home. A lot happened since my last segment. I was actually between Chestnut Gap and the Sleepy Gap parking lot. I was on the phone talking to Karen, and been on quite a little bit of an uphill incline, and so I decided I wanted to sit down, and I looked, and there was a log to the side of the road. Well, it was actually a blown over tree, so it was right on the ground at the edge of the trail, but it went up the further away from the trail it went. So I decided that I would walk over, and where I wouldn't have to sit down so far, and just finish up my conversation with her before I finished out the trail. And no sooner had I taken about 5 steps in, I had this real burning sensation, and then again, and I I realized what it was. I was being attacked by yellow jackets. I stepped right in the middle of their nest. Thankfully I'm okay, but I'm itching really bad. I didn't have a major reaction, but just a lot of pain still from all the stings. We counted at least 27 different stings, and I have never been stung by a yellow jacket that I didn't have some acute swelling in the area where I got stung, and this time nothing. So I'm just happy that I didn't have a major reaction. But I wish someone would have been there videoing, because I'm sure it would have been a real comedy routine. I ran out of there. I dropped my phone. I dropped a trekking pole. I got back on the trail. I fell down. They were still attacking me. I was swatting at them. They started stinging me on the top of the head. I was smacking my head and trying to get away. And of course, as you know, I've got bad knees, and so I can't run. But I was moving away as quickly as I can, but they just kept coming. They kept coming. And I was yelling, and I thought I still had the phone with me, and I was yelling that the bees were still getting me. And anyway, make a long story short, I finally got about 300 yards or so up the trail, and they finally quit chasing me. But I reached down to get my phone, and it was gone. It was back with the trekking pole where the bees were. So I waited around about 5 minutes and decided I'd walk down and see if maybe I had dropped it in the middle of the trail. And I took about 10 steps, and they started hitting me again. And so I turned around, and I went ahead and got to the top of the incline. And from that point, it was about 7/10 of a mile. I had remembered seeing that when I was looking at the map while I was on the phone with Karen. But so I was really worried. I was afraid I was going to start having an immediate reaction. And but I headed on down, and thankfully the rest of the way to the parking lot was downhill. I got there, and as soon as I got in the parking lot, I dropped down. I took my pack off and reached in the back and got my first aid kit out. Thankfully, I had it. I keep it in the back of my pack, so I knew that I had some Benadryl in there. I dug that out and took 2 right away. And I laid there for a little while. Don't know how long it was, but anyway, I finally got up and started to walk over and ask a guy in the car there if I could use his phone to call and let Karen know I was okay. I had sent her a message through the InReach Mini, so I would highly recommend having one of those. But actually, as I was walking over there, Pat pulled in, and a thru hiker out and about was coming through the parking lot. And so I had actually been communicating with him back and forth through Facebook, and so it was really good to meet him. Not under those circumstances, but I was able to talk with him for just a minute and warn him about the bees. And so he actually put his raincoat on, and he told me that he would look for the trekking pole and look for my phone in the trail. He said, but if the bees were there, he wasn't going to try to get them. But anyway, I drove back up to the Chestnut Gap Overlook, and there's an access point there, which was closer than coming from Sleepy Hollows or Sleepy Gap. So I walked back in from that point, and actually when I got to the site of the bee attack, Out and About was standing there. He could see my trekking pole, but he said, I see your stuff, but I'm worried about the bees. And I said, don't worry about that. Let me get in there. And so because the trekking pole was actually on the opposite side of the log, and so I knew the bees would not react for me walking on that side. So I walked in and got the trekking pole, and I gave him my phone number, and he called my phone, and we could hear it ringing, but you couldn't see it. It was under some leaves, and it was face down, so the face wasn't lighting up when it rang. That was, but we couldn't see it from the back. And so I got up on the back side of the log and reached over where I thought I could hear it and started scraping in the leaves, and that kind of agitated the bees, and they kind of started swarming around my head again. I jumped up and ran away, gave them about 5 minutes, and by that, and I had my rain jacket on to try to keep them from getting to me if they did attack. But anyway, he called again. I got down on my hands and knees and crawled in as close as I could. I finally saw the phone, and I reached in and grabbed it, and the bee started coming at me again. But I took off and out and about and myself. We got on down the trail a little bit. Didn't get stung again that time, but and he didn't get stung, thankfully. But just got to give him a big shout out for taking the time to help me there. It was just good to have somebody there when I was trying. I would have never found it if I'd have had to dig around looking for it myself. So I really appreciate that. But yeah, after that, Pat took me back up to the Pisgah Inn. I got my vehicle. I got back to his house, and by the time we got there, I was getting really sleepy from the Benadryl. It really does a job on me. But I slept through the night. Felt better this morning, except for all the stinging and burning and itching. But I was just afraid to get back on the trail because I know sometimes, reactions can happen later. And so, yeah, I got one day in, 13 miles from the Pisgah Inn down to Sleepy Gap View Overlook. So that'll be where I start my next trip. Hopefully I'll get one more in this year, and then after that I'm looking at knee surgery. But I'll talk about that more later. But I took my new backpack out. I'll probably do a little video on that a little later. It performed excellent. I loved it. Yeah, had a great time. Started out a beautiful morning. It was a great day all day long. I met out and about. I met the Champ. He's a thru hiker. I met Slider, who is she's just a day hiker, but all really cool people. And I met one gentleman. I didn't get his name. He was an older gentleman getting ready to go out west on a hike with some people, and he was just out getting in some exercise. So hey, I can't complain much. I didn't get all I wanted in, but the time I did have out there was really, really good. So hope you enjoy the video, and until next time, I'll see you on the trail. All right, I'm out.